When you registered for today's call, we asked you one question. In one sentence, what does "I don't have time" actually mean for you right now? Here's what people wrote. I am exhausted, sacrificing many aspects of life and a life of anxiety. I can't complete my task to the standards that I would like. I want to regain the energy that I used to have. It seems impossible to ever finish my to-do list. I feel behind before the day even starts. And two of you wrote the same darn thing. Not a priority. Not a priority. So many people resonated with that, and it showed up this morning in the data. That's what Kate Sauser is going to teach us from her perspective today. This is Growing the Future Productions Live. How does she do it all? Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. Doing very well. So thanks for joining us today. Kate has a 3-part framework called Everything in Time. The problem, the decision, the practice. Today you get all 3. We're live on YouTube right now. Please like it. Please like it. Subscribe to it. And if you know someone who's been saying all their life they have no time for anything, you better share this stream with them before they do anything else crazy today. My name is Dan Aberhart. I run Growing the Future, Western Canadian Agriculture's foremost live briefing platform and its foremost AI for ag training platform. I grew up alongside a farming operation that today runs over 20,000 acres. Such a big deal, 20,000 acres. Hey, Kate? Yeah, big farms these days. Non-farming sibling, no, but not that far from you, Kate, as a crow flies. Neighbors, essentially.
How the crow flies. We're neighboring.
Yeah, so we had to connect at some point. There was a lot of crisscrossing of orbits there. And then, in that first real conversation, Kate, you described your life to me, policy manager at Grain Growers of Canada. You're teaching international agribusiness economics at the University of Saskatchewan. You're refereeing high-level hockey, playing competitive softball, helping out with the farm near Churchbridge, all at 25. So after hearing everything you had to go on the go, I had to ask you about what drives you. And so we're going to talk about that today. But before we get to that, a little bit of housekeeping as usual. We got a wonderful crowd here today. Put your questions and comments for Kate in the chat, and I will stop everything. I'll drop everything, and I'll make time for you. And Kate will answer them. She loved being asked about time, and I said, well, we should do a course on it then, and she's going to teach it. And I'm excited for this knowledge myself too, because I think we all suffer that. But I wanted to acknowledge my sponsor partners. That is MNP, that is Crop Aid Nutrition, that is Hammond Realty, that is GRIP with 2 P's, and Bone Trail Originals and Convergence Conference 2027. I'm hoping to get Kate to come to the conference and share her knowledge as well. But we're doing a little mastermind today, so that's what it's all about. Is there anything that you wanted the crowd to share with us before we get started here, Kate? Did you have any questions for them, or?
No questions. Just a general disclaimer that I don't know everything. I'm no hero. So take what I say with a grain of salt if you wish. Again, I'm only 25. I've lived so short of a life so far. So again, I just wanted to preface that and say I certainly am not no hero, and I'm just a real girl who just tries to do as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, Kate, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I guess the part that we're interested in is, how do you do it all, and have you always been this way?
Yeah, so about myself, as Dan mentioned, I'm 25. I live currently in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. So live here at my house with a couple roommates they're really great girls. We get along very, very well. And I also kind of go back and forth from the farm to here based on, availability, free time, of course, and when I can make it there. So farms near Churchbridge, Saskatchewan, where my dad and my brothers run that operation there. We have some cattle and we also have some land. So grew up farming. It was always in my blood. It was always in our generational pathway. Both my grandparents were grain farmers as well as cattle farmers. So something that's been engraved within me forever. And I've always just enjoyed advocating for agriculture. There was always something about it that something lit up a spark inside me that I've wanted to be the voice and be a voice for agriculture in no matter how, in what way I could do it and what form. So this kind of sparked my interest in advocacy and agriculture. And ever since I was in high school, I was always advocating on the carbon tax as it came in when I was just in my later years of high school. And then back in high school as well was when the whole 2018 China and canola trade dispute happened in the first place. So I really liked to dig into that one, which then led me to a degree in Bachelor of Science in Agribusiness. Took that at the U of S. So I did that, and then after that, I got offered a really great deal to take my master's under Dr. Stuart Smythe, where I took my master's in agricultural economics, and that'll be finished up here in the next month, which is really exciting. And my master's was on zero till technology and reducing carbon dioxide emissions. So something, again, I was really passionate about. Something super tied into advocacy as well when it comes to environmental outcomes that the government looks for. And then, as Dan mentioned, I also work as a policy manager too. So those are my like career things. And then, of course, I referee hockey at a high level as well. And I love traveling and playing sports as well. So got a lot going on.
Yeah, you were in Prague on Snapchat earlier this spring, but it was raining anyways, so why not go to Prague? It was
Well,
raining.
yeah, I kind of did a little Europe trip. I did 4 countries in 8 days. So I was kind of ripping through Europe for a bit, had a few holidays to use. So I thought, why not?
I love it. Yeah, that was great. I love it. And why not just get away instead of looking at the big ponds that were forming? Hey, because you
Right.
guys,
And even this last night, 5 more inches of rain in Manitoba, which is crazy. So
right? Yeah,
yeah.
it was wild. And I know some folks really got drowned out here. So uh,
I haven't made it downstairs to check the rain gauge just yet. Kind of been grinding since this morning, so I haven't checked the rain gauge over here just yet, but I'm sure I'll get to it after this is all done.
yeah, and we're going to talk about that grinding because I think we all feel it. I feel it too. But I know you have folks have some land up at Swan River as well that you're farming,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, a
it
little bit
was
above Swan River, yeah.
I think it was some business in Swan River that was shut down due to flooding. So there's damage, and not just to crops, to all kinds of people's livelihoods, and it's a little bit scary. But we live in a world of weather. So I wanted to ask the audience which of these sounds most like you this week. My list keeps growing, and I don't know what to cut. I said yes to something I already knew I should say no to. I think I did that a couple times this morning already,
My whole
Kate.
life.
Probably you're wondering if you should have committed it to this today.
No, no.
Uh, I feel behind before the day even starts. I'm doing a lot, but not on the things that actually matter, and I think that's priority. So, how do you view that, Kate, while this is running? How do you view being overcommitted and overwhelmed?
Yeah, so I guess like this whole thing is that I have a different kind of I guess philosophy on time. Um just because I am somebody who likes to overcommit, I'm somebody who has a problem saying no to things that I probably should. I have a huge tendency to be a people pleaser, so just knowing that is something that's rooted and have to fix that. So my philosophy on time is that time's relative to what you want to do with it. So obviously time has a capacity. There's only so much time that we are given, and there's so much time that we have to actually run with the things we have to do. But I think it comes down to how you use time as discipline. So of course, like this first one, my list keeps growing and I don't know what to cut. Discipline, figure out the priorities, what matters today. When can I cut out something that doesn't matter maybe as much to actually put it in and get that priority in check? And then also just to that second one, I said yes to something I already knew I should say no to. Don't feel guilty if you have to go back and say no again, right? Like it sucks. I get the guilt. It burns right into me, trust me. But like if you overcommit, that's again, it's a problem that you have done to yourself. And sometimes you have to figure it out, like just figure it out. What's the priority right now? Do I actually have capacity for this right now or not?
You mean we do it to ourselves?
Crazy.
So what we're seeing here is for the majority of people, the list does keep longer getting on. Yeah, my list keeps growing and I don't know what to cut.
Mhm.
I think that's interesting that a third of people said that, and while there's 13% are overcommitters like you and I that can't say no because we just get so excited about new things, and a fifth of folks are feeling behind before the day even starts, which is not that's not that's not pleasant. We don't want that for anybody, and a third of people are doing a lot but not maybe on the right things. What in the world is happening when I thought everything was going to get easier and we would be more productive and more free time with technology?
You're asking my opinion on that?
I'm asking you.
Okay. Okay. Well, technology is interesting. So I think technology is a tool, but it's also a burden because I have this stupid little game on my phone, and if I sit on the couch and decide to dig into this game, I could be caught in it for 2 hours, right? So I feel like again, it's discipline. It has to be discipline with technology nowadays because technology is so prevalent in our everyday lives. It's everywhere. Whether it comes to your phone, your TV, your laptop, like it's very addicting. So I feel like again, this comes down to how you want to use time as discipline. And if you have things to do and you feel like you're behind, you just have to prioritize, like I can't sit on my phone for 2 hours. Stack your days, make blocks. So if you need to work hard for 30 minutes, then you get a 5 minute break to do something like play a game on your phone, then that's where you can do it. Or if you need to put, an hour into grinding into something and then you need your rest and relaxation for another 10 minutes, just balance it out because then you won't feel guilty and you're actually going to be able to hopefully keep that track going when you have more discipline with your time.
How does a person know? Because the first part of this series, you're talking about the problem. How do you know if you have a time problem?
Do you feel behind? I mean, we all kind of feel behind. I mean, it's a loaded question because if your to-do list truly does keep stacking up, why is nothing getting ticked off? Is that's the question that you sometimes maybe need to ask. Because if I have a to-do list, I like to have when I make my to-do list every morning, because if you don't know or you can't tell, I have ADHD, so I need something to keep me in line. My to-do list every day starts at top priority tasks. So first of all, I'll write out my schedule for the day. I have a meeting at 10, meeting at 12, meeting at 3. I'll write that out so now I know I have those blocks in. Then I'll write my highest priority tasks that have deadlines. So I put the deadlines next to them. Then I'll put my lowest priority tasks that are often a rolling to-do list, if that's a better way to say it. So if I don't finish that lower priority task, I'll roll it into the next day and then hopefully be able to pound it out the next day, put it up to the high priority list. Whatever it may be, I find that that matrix of a to-do list is something that's been very helpful for me. And also just, I mean, if you feel like you don't have capacity in your day, what can be eliminated from that day to make sure you do have the capacity to take on your responsibilities?
To-do lists. I've heard some arguments for and against it. And does it work for everybody? Do you highly recommend it? And where are you putting those?
I love to-do lists. I think it's the one thing that actually keeps me on track. I write them down personally because I feel like writing it, putting my brain pen to paper. I still am a huge pen to paper gal, so I feel like writing it down is the best way to visualize it. And so I usually write it in a notebook, I or a sticky note. I'll either stick it on the wall right next to my desk, or I'll just keep the notebook open so I can see it, and then I can easily just flip the page to the next day.
So are you using any digital solutions or you love that old school
Not for to-do
journal?
lists. I'm straight old school. Yeah.
Huh. So where did you learn how to manage that, or is that something that intuitively you just came up with a system per se?
I feel like growing up and with however many sports I played and all the commitments that I wanted to do and everything that I just wanted to do, I needed a system because I can't do everything with the capacity of time. Um, Again, time's relative to what you want to do with it, and everyone gets angry at time, but they don't work with time. So I felt like that was something that really resonated with me is that hearing that everyone's angry and they want it the most, but they use it the least. So I feel like hearing that really shifted my perspective on the whole idea of time and how I can use it more suited to my daily life. So I feel like it's been something I've always done. I always like to have kind of a plan, right, with my time. And if you do know me, I'm a last minute person when it comes down to assignments or deadlines, but that's just how I roll, right? I'm still getting it done. I know I have time blocked off for it. I just like the pressure sometimes of having a time crunch. So that's kind of just how it's always been for me.
That's so cool that you know that and you've made peace with that. And I like that you have a different perspective of time because I think it's productive in itself. And this morning I saw a post from Gary Vee who said he listed all these different ages. And even if you're 28, you have time. But he said also if you're 80, you have time. And I think that aligned with what we're talking about here today. You
Mhm.
feel you want to think. You've programmed yourself to think. I always have time.
Time is inevitable. Time's going to keep moving, right? Like life, death, and time are inevitable, right? So you're not going to lose time. You're not going to make time go faster. It might feel like it. You might get that placebo effect, but I feel like at the same time, you got to remember that if you had, so let's put it into monetary value. So you have 86,400 seconds in a day. Let's say you get handed $86,400 in the morning, and someone says to you, you have to spend this, you got to spend it by the end of the day. That's how much money you have. Would you sit down and just not go out and spend your money? Or would you go out and spend your money on the things you've always wanted? Okay, likely that. So then take it into the seconds perspective of 86,400 seconds a day. You have that much time per day. Are you going to sit there and waste it like the money? Or are you going to spend that all 86,400 seconds of the day to make a purpose?
Question. That's a question for the audience. What do you guys think? What would you do?
Or I kind of like threw that in there.
No, it's good, and I love your quotes about time being inevitable, but also I think there was something in there about just the relief you had a realization when you had this eureka moment that turned into a tattoo.
Yeah, oh yeah, I have a tattoo that says everything in time because for me, everything happens in time. Like you get better in time, it'll heal in time. You get a little injury, it's gonna get better in time. You're grieving over time, it'll get better. Everyone always says like, "Oh, just give it time. Just give it time." Because we have it. We have time, right? So give it time because we have the time to give it. So that everything in time tattoo really resonates with me because I just feel like everything in our everyday life is based around the time that we have. And some of our time on earth is shorter, some of it's longer. So use it, right?
Yeah.
I
What
know
what do you
you need to live life.
what do you see in the modern world about, and maybe a lot of it's marketing because they want you to buy stuff because you're short on time, right? So we're being sold stuff with more sophisticated tools than ever. What do you think are some of the myths that are being perpetuated in modern society about time?
Well, back to your first point there, like I feel like there are a lot of things that can increase your efficiency with time. Like Dan and I discussed on our pod that AI can be a great tool if you want to use efficiencies or if you want to cut down on some time. But modern myths about time, like I feel like everyone nowadays, again, I'm young, so I can't really speak to too much of this because I came up in this generation that's so ridden in technology.
Mm.
And still as a 25-year-old, it's so prevalent in our lives. This technology is taking over. So the modern myths about tech about time, I just feel like a lot of people are just, I don't have any more time, or like, I don't have time, I don't have time. I don't really know if I'm aware of any modern myths of time, Dan. That I don't really scroll social media all that much, so I
Oh, you
don't.
don't?
No,
Nice.
I don't have time. Honestly, I don't have time to scroll social media. And that's some of
Good
the
for you.
things that I take out of my life is scrolling social media because I have time for other things.
So how do you do that then, or is it zero tolerance policy, or you allow yourself a little bit, or where do you land on that?
It just depends. So if I have 5 minutes in my day, maybe I'll go scroll Instagram, I'll scroll Facebook. But for the most part, like I'm not chronically online, if that makes any sense. I just find that I can read a book. I love reading. So I can
Mm.
read a book or I can go complete a task like clean my room or something in that time that it could have taken me to scroll social media. Sometimes I'll do like a I can scroll it with when I eat lunch or right before I go to bed or something like that, just to get my fill. But I don't itch to scroll. Sometimes I get not too much negative, like a lot of negativity on social media, so kind of try to stay away from it sometimes. But
I love that you read a book. Does that take a lot of strategy for you? Is it just something that you love so much it's easy to put everything else aside? Because I struggle with everything else as a distraction to read more than 3 pages at a time.
Interesting. I just love reading. Ever since I've been a kid, I love reading. I read a lot of different types of books. Like I'll read a lot of like Atomic Habits is a really good book if you're looking to structure your life a little bit better, to make better habits in your day to day. Like that's one that I love. That's the type of books that I sometimes love reading. But also at the same time, I just like reading stories because it's just a different break from your everyday life, right?
Isn't it? Yeah, it's almost soothing to the brain as opposed to the short form video, which we know is rotting our brains.
Oh yeah, and like I just like the fact that you can just pick up a book and just kind of like remove yourself from the brain rot for a while.
Mm, that's a good strategy. So when you're looking at your calendar, I'm going to ask all the folks here who are extremely quiet. Even Harry Siemens hasn't asked anything yet. I'm really surprised. There he is. Oh, I
Ah, there
spoke too soon.
you spoke of it.
I just Harry, thanks for appearing almost magically there. But great stuff. For years, I used a day timer, but many years ago, I read a book that had another suggestion. It helped me become more productive and take my focus off of the time. Write down the 5 most important things I need doing. Work on 1 until finished. Work on 2 until finished. Work on 3, and often when done, I realized 4 and 5 weren't that important. I bought my first computer in 1982 and embraced technology using whatever can make me better and more productive.
That's huge. I love that. I like what you said, Harry, about like work on 1 until finish, work on 2 until finish, because that's something that I prioritize too. Sometimes you get down to your bottom of your to-do list and you realize you didn't even need to prioritize it at all.
One thing I'm struggling with is multitasking. And I go up and down my virtual agents all day, every day, and that's heavy thought work. And it's so exhausting, but I'm kind of addicted. I can't do it. But I was really thinking like, what if I just focused on, okay, I'm working on the convergence conference for 25 minutes and I'm not doing anything else?
Like, for example, with my thesis, I worked on it for like 4 hours, then I'm done. So I don't get exhausted of it. Then I'll work on it for an hour, then I'm done. And that's a hard stop, so I don't get exhausted of it. Because of that, I feel like that's actually the only thing that made me finish it. Because if I didn't, I would have probably worked on it 30 minutes here, 20 minutes here, and it just isn't productive. Like, I feel like there's got to be a window of time where you actually dial into something that can keep your productive juices flowing, and then there's also a hard stop. So I feel like having that mindset as well, just knowing that you maybe only have a certain capacity for a certain project, and then mixing in your multitasking is also a superpower.
Yeah, maybe I get 25 minutes to multitask in the day, but the rest are focus times. The chat's popping off.
Ooh,
John
awesome.
Gibson coming in hot. When do you read? When you read, do you read hard copy book or on device?
Only hard copies. I look at a screen. I work from home, so I look on a screen 9 hours a day.
Right.
I need a break from screens. I've kind of toyed the idea of getting a Kindle because I travel a lot with work and with reffing and with school. So I've toyed the idea of getting a Kindle. I just can't get behind reading off a screen yet. So I'm hard copy. I have an absolute library in my house.
Old school. I love it. That's really cool. What's the last great book that you read?
The last great book I read was honestly Colleen Hoover. It was Verity. There's a movie coming out about it. It was so good. I read it in 3 hours. So good.
Are you a speed reader or do you just like
Yes,
savor
very
every
much
word?
so. I read
Nice.
it, but then sometimes, again, with ADHD, I'll read it again because I'm like, did I actually even read that part? So I'll read a few sentences. I'm like, did I even actually read that, or did I just skim it? So I'll sometimes have to go back. But if I get really into a book, I will be eating that book up in 3 hours.
Yeah, that's so inspiring. I gotta go back. Yeah, I just gets me
Reading's
excited.
fun. It's good for you. And I
Yeah,
also,
I
there's
know.
an app called Goodreads. So when I finish a book, I can go rate it, and that makes it exciting for me. It's like a reward.
Goodreads. You
Yeah.
rate it?
You rate
Okay.
the book, and you can review it, and then you get a big community on there, and then you can see what your friends thought. And it's great.
Do you like Blinkist, where it takes 15-minute, 20-minute snapshots that you can read or listen to with the framework of the book ish?
No,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
not my
kind of
style.
defeats the purpose of what you're talking about.
Not my style.
Okay. Good to know. Sean Patnode, welcome. Thanks for attending. I can relate with how you roll. I have self-diagnosed ADHD and really thrive on stress and deadlines. Let's talk about that more because you were really great sharing that on the podcast. which is coming out today, they tell me. Do you have any tips to manipulate your brain? I love it. To find the old, boring, non-time sensitive projects, non-time sensitive projects, more pressing and exciting so that you can move from a more LIFO to FIFO system. Are you familiar, the LIFO to FI?
No.
Farm around and find out?
Oh my God. That's no
Hey,
A.
listen.
Last in, first out. There we go. Yes. Um, First of all, Sean, this is great. I like that you also relate to that you thrive on stress and deadlines because I think if there's no stress or pressure or deadlines, I might not get things done. Definitely thrive on that. So I'm happy you can relate to that in some capacity. So those projects with a pressing deadline and with stress are exciting because you have a deadline. The thrill of getting it done right at last second is something that it needs to be studied because with my brain, it's an absolute thrill. Um, Tips to manipulate the brain to find old, boring, non-time sensitive projects. For me, especially with the mundane tasks, like admin tasks, like such as like submitting my expenses, it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to do this, or like just do like around the house, mundane tasks I just don't want to do. They're not time sensitive. I almost have to balance them with some type of reward after I'm done them. So like if I were to do this, I can go for a walk. As stupid as that sounds, I can't go outside for a walk until I get that project done. Helps my brain almost go into overdrive and be like, I really want to go for a walk, so I need to finish cleaning my room. Or, and this is again silly, but like again, having roommates, they're great for this accountability piece for me. I'll be like, you guys can't let me talk to you until I'm done this, or something like that. So having it's actually that bad sometimes. So that's how I trick my brain is like, oh, I can't do this until I'm done. So
Huh.
like those are a few things that I have to almost back it up against to actually finish those tasks because
I,
they're awful.
I'm just imagining your roommates walking around like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm ignoring
Close my
you.
door and lock me in. Yeah.
Don't talk to me, Kate. You're not done your stuff.
They do that.
Wow. That's some,
They
that's some
know
people
they
on your
know for
side.
what's gonna help me, so they want me to get stuff done.
It's like when our parents used to discipline us, they said it hurt them more than it hurt you.
Maybe this is not the same case, but
John Gibson, on average, what percentage of your time do you spend on self improvement? No agenda, just for you.
great question, John. I like to go get my workouts in the morning, so I like to move my body for a bit in the morning, and that's my first thing of the day that I do for self-improvement. Whether it is even just going for a walk, going to the gym, I go to workout classes. I feel like getting that out of the way first thing in the day really helps me because I sit at a desk all day, so having that energy level spiked in the morning is really helpful. And then so that'd be, I guess, a small percentage, but it'd be about an hour to an hour and a half. And then I also like to read, of course, and that's what I'd also say is self-improvement because usually I have a self-improvement book and a story book on the same go at the same time. So I'll balance back between the two. So I always have a self-improvement book on the go. Right now, that book is The Perfectionist's Guide to Losing Control. I highly recommend it. It's about if you are a perfectionist and you aren't used to like losing control of a situation, it kind of walks you through it. Really great book. So I try to put at least half hour aside a day for reading as well. And then other than that, throughout the day, like I'll try to work on my efficiencies and my schedules, which is also self-improvement, no agenda. But so I'd say percentage wise, probably around 15 to 20% of self-improvement a day, I'd say,
Mm.
which is not as much as I'd want, but I
She's
have a
got
lot of
it
other things
charted.
going on.
She's got it clocked. I love it. How do you view time on the farm? Is that a little bit you time? Just if you can get out on a tractor and spend some time in the field, windshield time, driving out to the farm, is that you time?
I would consider that me time. Like, it depends because when I go to the farm, to be honest with you, I almost get a little bit bored some days because I'm like, oh, I don't have my busy day-to-day life that I have in Saskatoon. Now I just have just family time and farm time, which is really nice. It's a good break. And I feel like if I didn't have that break, I might go a little bit crazy and I might get a little bit burnt out because overall it is really good to have these breaks mixed into your schedule. And for me, having a change of scenery every now and then is really good for me. Even if I go to the farm and do my work at the farm for a few days, it's really great to get my to-do lists done because changing the environment can really, really help me get my little small mundane tasks done. But I'd say, yeah, like jumping in a tractor with my dad is me time. It's him and I time, right? We get to hang out together or, helping where I can. It's something I do for me, not for any type of agenda or a job at that rate.
So you're a little bit of an adrenaline junkie then, as far as meetings go and activity and doing stuff. If the
I'm
farm's
high energy. That's a
yeah,
better way to put it is I have a
okay,
lot of energy. So
okay.
I was like my friends always compare it to like a golden retriever dog. I
Hmm?
need to just be stimulated at all times.
Need to run it off.
I need to
Yeah,
run it off.
yeah. I love that. Well, I wanted to go back to what Sean said because know thyself is a big theme around here, growing the future, and you know yourself in terms of you're very open. You shared it on the podcast. You got diagnosed with ADHD and you were treating it. You're working with it. Tell us about that.
Yeah, very open about this topic because I feel like there's a lot of stigma behind it, and I don't want anyone else to feel like, it's a bad thing to have ADHD or try to manage it because for my life, again, I just have a lot going on. So if I weren't to manage my ADHD properly, I think I saw this a lot before I was properly managing it, that I would just reach a state of shutdown or almost like a paralysis where I was just like so stuck in not doing anything because I had so much to do that it was killing my day to day. Like I couldn't really function properly because I didn't know how to get out of that. So I am medicated and I go through a lot of different tools to manage my ADHD, whether it be these lists that I create or these books that I read as well for self-improvement. But that feeling of being so heavy with your to-do list and not being able to move, like not like you're so stuck. It's like an insanely awful feeling because then you get guilty and then you're like, I have 80 things to do and I can't even do one. So that was the thing that really, really, really ruined a lot of my productivity because I couldn't figure out how to make myself get unstuck. So, because of that, I was working without medication previously to try to make these things better. And that came down to to-do lists, it came to time blocking, it came to blocking out my days with certain stuff and a lot of breaks, if I'm being honest. But then it came to a point where it was like my day-to-day life is getting pretty heavy with all these tasks I have to do. I need to do something about it. So I did end up, yeah, going to the doctor and we worked and I do medicate for ADHD now. And it does help a lot. It keeps me on track. I don't get that stuck feeling as much anymore. I more so have a drive to finish my tasks before I rest, which is also really good. But managing that in my day-to-day life and also just like the stigma around it is something that like I'm always open to talk about because I feel like more of us struggle with it than not. So having that awareness and being able to actually mitigate it is something that, again, you need to have that mindset that like I'm maybe stuck now, but I don't always have to be this way. Or like I can push through that, right? So it's always that mindset too of am I actually being productive? What am I getting out of this? What are my goals and my intentions going forward as well?
Love it. Zach Zienert is relating. Thanks for coming on, Zach. Never been diagnosed, but what you just said, I feel that often, double exclamation mark, being stuck. What would you say to somebody who maybe has a suspicion or thinks they might be? Is how would they go about addressing that, or how did you go about addressing that?
For me, I was undiagnosed pretty much my entire childhood to teenage to I actually just got diagnosed formally at the age of 23, which was way later than I should have. I always knew I had ADHD. I mean, my family is the same way. It's just like we're all just a big bunch of energy and a lot of scatterbrains, but we get stuff done, so that's good. But for me, it was like working from home was a really tough task to do with ADHD. So for me, I just, I identified it. I used to do a lot of journaling on how I would feel and like the things I'd get done that day so I can look back and I almost had to thrive off the guilt of feeling like I didn't get anything done because then it almost motivated me to get better. And then after a while, I just adjusted and went to the doctor and talked about solutions going forward.
How do you thrive off guilt?
Because guilt is something that actually drives me a lot. So guilt in the tasks that you don't finish is something that it drives me quite a bit. So for example, The thesis thing, I'm a little overdue on my like 2 years. I'm a little over the 2 year thing. I was so guilty. So I ended up just intentionally planning my time to finish the thesis. I put 4 hours here, 4 hours there, intentionally putting in that time because I was so driven by guilt that I had to finish it. Same thing with these to-do lists. If I'm like, oh my God, I got nothing done the day before, the next day I almost find that I'm hyper productive because I'm driven by the guilt of not doing something the day before.
So you're saying you can transform a negative emotion into positive motivation, if I'm correct.
That's how I am. I mean, it's something that is for me, not for everybody, but I know like even just when it comes to tight timelines or pressure, like or working off of stress, it's kind of the same working on a negative emotion to make it a positive outcome type deal.
Zach is saying it was not even a thing back when I was a kid. I don't know how old you are, Zach, but it wasn't that long ago. I don't think it really was when I was growing up either. And we just worked more or did more. LOL. Still to me, the best medicine is just doing more.
And that's fair. Like I do a lot. I every day I'm doing more, but I do like for me it just helped a lot, right? For sure. It's just like that. Yeah, yeah, like you said, doubling down after having a stuck day is doing more the next day. And the best medicine for me is doing more until it's not, until I reach burnout. And then it's really like it hits me hard when I do reach burnout. And it's something that is really real too.
Talk about that.
Burnout, I've hit it many times. Overcommitting, not saying no to things, just keep going and not being able to take time for myself has caught up to me a lot. And then this also seems to happen in the winter months, obviously, when it's a little bit more gloomy, perhaps, and you don't get as much sunshine. But burnout is something that I've had to dig myself out of a couple times already, where I just overcommit. I say yes too many times, and it comes down to the point where I am burnt out. I don't have energy. I'm exhausted. I get sick. So identifying that and realizing, like, okay, maybe I did commit to too many things. Maybe I did over. I said yes a little bit too many too many times, and I've reached the capacity of my time is something that is a good self-awareness practice, and it happens. We're all human, right? So I don't think it's avoidable. I just think dealing with it and trying your best to not be burnt out is also good. But I'm still mastering that one. I do get burnt out quite often, so still on
Mm.
the mastery of that one. I have not yet found a great solution.
You haven't? Do you have the magic pill for that when you are burnt out?
God, I wish. Nope, just have to take a day. Honestly, take a day because you know what? Like at the end of the day, you still need to rest. You still need to find time for the people in your life, and that can refill your cup. So getting some rest in, laying in bed, even if it feels guilty, like just resetting, right? Like that's what I've had to do.
You'll use that guilt soon to come roaring back.
Exactly.
Harry Siemens is saying, for me, attitude is 90% of everything I do and a choice. I learned that back in 1986 when I was at a crossroads in my life. I developed this motto: a positive mental attitude to serve, to encourage, and later I added to inspire others will motivate me to do my best, gives me a reason to get up in the morning. How does attitude affect you, Kate?
I love that. That's such great advice. That should be like copy and pasted and put out
Bumper
because
sticker.
really, yeah, right. That's great advice. Attitude is everything for me. In sports, in life, in family, in relationships, attitude is huge. How can you, for me, I always want to make someone's day 1% better. I want to make my day 1% better. So if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, today's going to be a shit day, it's likely going to be a shit day because I woke up telling myself that. But if I woke up in the morning, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get so much done today. It's going to be a great day. It's almost like positive affirmations for myself in the morning.
Mm.
Like I can do it today. We're here, you know. I find myself. I would say I'm an overall happy person. I always try to tend to have a smile on my face. So having that attitude and that mindset to be a good person for others and make one positive change in someone's life a day is something I always carry day to day. So I like that motto. And for me, attitude is everything every morning.
That's great. Sean Padnote is saying, I have learned that no matter what, you cannot compromise sleep.
Correct. You can't. There's so many nights where I sleep 5 hours and I hate myself the next day. You can't compromise sleep. A good 7 to 8 hours is what I try to get if I can, but you're right.
Do you have any tips or secrets on getting to bed early and sleeping soundly through the night and being a superstar in the morning?
Absolutely not.
That's a different episode.
No, I can't. Sleep's not my thing. I thrive off 5 hours most days, so I'm not
Yeah.
the task on that one.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Zach Zienert is saying, agree, Harry. Motivate yourself and motivate others, and have that positive mental attitude is a choice. Great words, Harry.
I love that word. It's a choice. Choice, because you can choose to be rotten, you can choose to be happy. What do you want to choose every day? I love that. I love that word. Choice.
Yeah, and one of your philosophies is you can choose to work with or against time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a choice. You can either work with it or you can be angry at it. So I always say you can work against it where you do just fall behind because you're not doing what you could be doing, or because you're not taking that 86,400 seconds to the table that you want to put it at, right? So again, you have a choice with time as well, for the
That's
most
so
part. What you do
interesting to
with it.
break
You
it
don't have
down
a
by
choice with
seconds.
sometimes other things, but you have a choice with what you do with it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I count calories and it'd be very interesting to count seconds and ration it out. I like that idea.
Mhm.
John Gibson is asking, do you have a pet? Our daughter has a therapy cat.
Very, very well. I do. I do, John. And I consider him my emotional support cat. His name's Richard Parker. He is very fluffy, big Maine Coon. He is like my best bud. I got him in 2020 when COVID hit because I was at home, obviously, all day, every day. So I rescued him from a shelter here in Saskatoon. He's become my best bud since. He understands. The weirdest thing about this is he understands when I'm feeling heavy. Because if I take a break and I'll lay down on my bed, he'll come lay on my chest and actually just like sit with me for a second, which is really weird as a cat. But I don't know. He's like my therapy cat, I guess. He's my emotional support guy. He understands me. I understand him. He's a great dude. I love him.
Certified for
And
travel.
he makes people who hate cats like them. So he's a good dude.
That's exceptional for cats. I got to meet this cat. Okay. When you look at your calendar right now, you would say, what? You're generally working with what you've got. You're fighting a schedule you already know is wrong. I honestly don't look at my calendar very often. I'm in the completely wrong season for where I'm at right now. I'm in the wrong calendar. I'm in the wrong position. I'm in the wrong role. I'm in the wrong location. Uh, Kate, what's your philosophy on calendars? I don't know if we talked about this.
I
How do
love
you use your
calendars.
calendar?
I'm a
Okay.
big calendar girl.
Okay.
I like Google Calendar because you can share it, and for me, I share it with my roommates so we know where we are at all times.
Hmm.
I love Google Calendar. I have to put everything in there, meetings, um, time blocks. I put in my calendar like every day. I put in my time blocks right in there. Ball, hockey, school, whatever it is, it goes into the calendar. There's nothing that's not in there because I don't think I will know what I'm doing. And to this third point down where it says I honestly don't look at my calendar very often. Ignorance.
Ooh.
I have a very big philosophy on this. If you were to have a bank account and you're trying to get rich, you're likely going to want to look at your bank account quite often. So if you're trying to be rich with your time, you likely want to look at your calendar quite often. I refer to it every day, all day. It's always open on my computer. So I always try to put things to a monetary value, if that makes any sense. A monetary relativity.
What do you think about that kind of wisdom at 25, folks? I wish I was half as wise, frankly. I'm still working
Yeah,
on
I'm
it.
not wise. I'm just dealing with what I have, what I do every
No,
day.
you didn't. I mean, that is wise. That is so true and everything. Chat's popping off. Surveys are running hot. We're getting close to the end here. Kate has an exercise for all of you that she's going to share with you. But let's get Alex Clark. You know Alex Clark?
Yes, I rep with her. She's wonderful.
I thought
She's one of my role
so.
models. Actually, if I'm gonna be honest, plug to Alex. She's one of my role models. She does so much. She's a
Yes.
mom. I don't know how she does it, and she's amazing.
Alex, you need to come on the show too. We've talked about it, but I'm not sure what we're procrastinating on. But I got to get back to Zach Zienert first. Question: multitasking. Definitely two sides on this one. Lately, they say that multitasking is not efficient. I disagree. Hey, I'm kind of with you. Anyways, like right now, I am totally in this conversation, but I'm also doing my online grocery shopping. Whoa, confession. LOL works for me. Smiley face.
Love that. I love it. Do this is something I preach so much every time I'm in something that I don't need to be like So let's say like I listen better when I'm engaged. And maybe that means if I am doodling on a paper or if I am scrolling something like grocery shopping, that actually helps me be more engaged because I am habit stacking. That's the word, habit stacking. So a good example of this is everyone might know what 75 hard is. It was this like fitness challenge where you had to like read 10 words, 10 pages of a book a day, eat clean, get your steps in, do 2 workouts a day. If I was doing, I did that one time and I stacked what I had to do. So I'd read a book while I was getting my steps in. It's just a good way to stack while you're multitasking. So I love that because I feel like for me, I have to be engaged in some way or form, and to do multitasking while listening is great.
Funny enough, Alex and I first met in a 75 hard group on WhatsApp.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Alex is saying, I find that time management, attitude, etc., all come back to whether things align with my why and values. I think that's huge. Yeah. Especially as I age, and the tasks that take the majority of my daily schedule are not tasks that center around things that fill my own cup, but instead are dictated by work slash kids slash farm, etc. If I don't create time in a day to put myself first, then I am pouring from an empty cup, which is when I find myself in a state of burnout.
No notes. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. Well, that
Values
is,
are
I
huge. Like I
mean,
talk about this on the pod, Dan, but values are what drives me every day as well. Like what am I working towards? What is my why for what I'm completing today? And why is it a priority?
is it vision? Is it vision, visualizing?
For me, it's just what are my values? So what am I working towards for myself? Like future Kate, what does she want?
Do some of you know each other? Agriculture is a little bit of a small community here because I see something going on in the chat, Zach, saying, "Hey, Alex, say hi to your mom and dad." So I feel like we're just in a small town coffee chat here. Interesting. I'm looking it up. Habit stacking. Is there somebody selling a course on that too, or is there a book or a series or a TV series or
I
habit
haven't found one
stacking?
yet, but I'm sure there's lots out there.
We're
I've just
writing. We're
watched
gonna write
videos
one.
on it before.
Are you gonna write a book?
No,
As a reader, you have no desire to be an author.
not right now. Maybe when I'm older, but no, I honestly reading a book would not be something I'm prioritizing right now.
Okay, good to know. What else do we got here, folks? I'm going to share the results here. You know, this is interesting. 64% said I'm generally working with what I got, and yeah, only 7% said I'm fighting a schedule I already know is wrong. So that's good. 30% said honestly, you know, I had an employee one time who's like calendar, like he didn't have a calendar, and he was in logistics. I am in the completely wrong season for where I'm at. So that's interesting. I'm glad nobody's in the wrong seasons. How do you view seasons? Because seasons is so big in farming, Kate.
Seasons. Well, in Saskatchewan, we get two of them. And right now, I don't know what season we're in, but this rain can, yeah, I want summer. Seasons, again, seasons are tough because I don't feel as motivated in the winter as I feel in the summertime. And seasons for me are completely different with my lifestyle because of hockey, because of ball, because of farming, because it's just a sign of almost like always just a sign of the times. So you just got to work with, again, that one's, I just go with the flow. I don't really have an idea of any of them because every season for me is completely different.
Yep. We're getting close to the top of the hour and the event, and you had something that you wanted to walk through with the live studio audience here today on Growing the Future, a little bit of an exercise. Can we do that together?
Sure. Well, I can kind of run this one. Um, yeah, so I talked about the time moving time to a money value based on the 86,400 seconds we get every day. Um, Putting that to a monetary value, but along the lines of how I've talked to you, how time is relative to what you do with it, and how you can maybe work with time a little bit more, or maybe if you are driven with those negative feelings and it makes you be more productive as well. For me, it's something that I've thought of lots, and it's something that I think of every day. So I'd love everyone to just think about what you did yesterday. So yesterday was Monday, our usually most dreaded day of the week. So think about what you did yesterday. Take a second. sometimes you don't even remember. Everyone's like, oh, I can't even remember what I did yesterday. But think about what you did yesterday and how much of your day do you actually remember? So, what pieces of it do you remember? What did you do? Tasks you completed, to-do list items you checked off. Now, think about during this time where you're thinking about your day yesterday, how many hours did you spend scrolling your phone? That's something that's huge for all of us nowadays because it's addicting. I like to keep my screen time hopefully on check. I've been actually starting to delete a lot of apps that I find take a lot of my screen time if they're really useless for my goals and my day-to-day life. But like today, my screen time is at 22 minutes. So it's just 22 minutes for today. That's pretty good. Yesterday was about 3 hours. So screen time was lower for me now. I used to sit at the 8 hour average, which is pretty bad. So that's 8 hours. That's almost a full work day of being on my phone. So think about those hours that you spent scrolling your phone. How many of those seconds could have you put towards something else? And then how much of your day did you think you were waiting for something, like waiting for a meeting, waiting for lunch, waiting for the end of the day? How much of your day did you wish that it was Friday, wishing Friday would come, wishing that you were younger, wishing that you were older, wishing that better weather would come because we are constantly in need. So wishing for something that time will tell, wishing work was over every day. Think about how many seconds you spent during your day wishing for something else. So when you're thinking about that, what I like to think about is, did I spend my time yesterday, or did I simply let yesterday happen to me? So did I spend my time? Did I spend that 86,400 seconds? Or did I let those seconds just go by? Because we're always like, I wish I had more time. Well, I just don't have time for that. I, I like, oh, time's going by so fast. But everyone says they want more time, but very few of us actually sit back and ask whether we're using the time that we actually already have. So just want you guys to think about that going forward, because that's kind of what I use every day as my matrix. How many of those seconds did I spend not working towards something that I wanted to, but also balancing some rest in there too? So just thinking about that.
I love that. That's amazing. Starts with awareness. We are going to do a course in the mastermind about this. We talked about doing a 3-part course. What would you say, Kate, to anyone who's maybe looking at joining us for a more in-depth conversation about time management?
First of all, I'd say that picture of me is very old. Where did you get that? AI does me so dirty. Second of all, I would just say if you are interested, again, looks like this is a great program. Again, I don't know everything. I just would say for what works with me, being someone who has ADHD and a lot going on, but a lot of energy to use it. So yeah, if you're interested, join. Not many words.
Love it. Well, thanks everybody for showing up today. Thanks for all of our sponsors that made this possible. And yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on. I feel like I learned a lot today, and I'm going to meditate on it. Some great lessons. And just a reminder, sometimes of the basics. We forget, the basic things that have worked for us or will work in the future, that have worked in the past. So, Kate, I appreciate you coming on. I know how busy you are, and you've taken time out to educate other people and help them with their time management. I was really excited to see the response from the audience that clearly this is a pain point for everybody. It's the most precious time that we have. And it's really inspiring to hear your story. You're really wise for a young person. And I'm really excited to share that wisdom with everybody on the channel. And it's going to be fun. And I hope that we can get you into Convergence as well. And it'll be great to share your wisdom in the mastermind. So thank you, Kate. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan, and thank you everyone for listening. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. You have a great day, and we're going to see you on Friday, where Dr. Sylvain himself, Dr. Sylvain Charlebois, who just ripped it up at the Convergence Conference last year. It was absolutely incredible. Best speaker for a long stretch. Just incredible speaker. He was definitely a highlight. He is going to debunk 3 themes about climate change, and gene editing, and hey, to fail is bad. He's going to debunk those three myths. So Tracy O'Hara says, thank you so much. Brenda Becker says, great job, Kate. You had some fans in the audience. Right?
Brenda's admin for my dad in the operation over there at Sugar and Seeds, so she's great.
Perfect. Well, you guys should be very proud of Kate. Thanks for coming on, Kate. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who showed up today, and we'll see you